Greetings, fellow humans. I'm MartianBuu, and today I have for you Galakrond Shaman. Free Shaman, after all these years, is finally a thing. They printed a bunch of very good freeze cards for Shaman in the Fractured and Alterac Valley set, and it all comes together quite nicely in Wild. The basic plan is to freeze your opponent's board so they can't do much, build up threats over time, and finish your opponent off with one of your big value bombs. So a couple of synergies in the deck that I thought were noteworthy. Zentimo is actually not a meme at all in this deck. I think it's very strong. It's always been strong with Invocation of Frost for Galakrond decks because you get to invoke your Galakrond 3 times while you freeze the board. The problem is there hasn't been a lot of other cards that are actually any good with Zentimo. So if you don't have your Invocation of Frost, or if you had to use them earlier, the card is often dead. But now we have an even better card to use with Zentimo than Invocation of Frost in Wind Chill. So freeze a minion, draw a card. You use Zentimo, freeze 3 of your opponent's minions, and draw 3 cards. Card draw in Shaman has been lacking over the years, so having such easy access to a ton of draw while you're also stalling the board is phenomenal, and Zentimo really capitalizes on that. I have Wind Fury in this deck over Battleground Battlemaster because it's a third of the cost, and with Snowfall Guardian, a lot of the time when you're in a position to be finishing off your opponent, you only have 1 minion that can attack anyway. So Wind Fury only targets 1 minion, but it's a third of the cost, and it's a free draw from Primal Dungeoneer sometimes. We've cut a lot of the nature spells in Shaman because we need room for all the free stuff. There aren't that many nature spells we want to be running in this deck anyway, but we do have elementals, so with this deck you either get one of your really good freeze cards, or you get your finisher alongside one of 2 very good elementals. Another upside of Wind Fury is that it actually synergizes quite well with Zentimo. If you have Wind Fury Zentimo, you can actually give 3 minions Wind Fury instead of 2, like Battlemaster could. For the mulligan, we're always going to keep Ice Fishing, Sleepbreaker, and Armor Vendor. Armor Vendor is our only proactive turn 1 play, so we want to hold on to that. Sleepbreaker is always good on 2, and then you have your Wind Chill in hand for when you need it. The sooner you draw Ice Fishing, the less likely you are to draw the Murlocs naturally, and against most decks, it's good to have a one-sided board clear. If you're up against a deck that tries to win by developing a board, so Warlock, Warrior, you can keep Wind Chill, Invocation of Frost, and Zentimo. If you already have good stuff in your hand already, you can start looking at keeping Note Taker because it's okay to just jam it on 2. You want to have something to play on 2. On the coin, against a board-based deck, you can consider keeping Corrupt Elementalist, especially if you have things to play earlier on. And Primal Dungeoneer is a decent keep if you've already got things to play on turns 1 and 2. Against Mage and Hunter, keep Lothab because you're going to need it at some point to close the game out. Mage and Hunter are going to be some of your hardest matchups because this deck is built to overpower board-centric decks. So Ignite Mage and Odd Hunter are kind of going to run you over. Lothab helps with that. If you're seeing a ton of that, we need to maybe consider putting in Cult Neophytes. Brukan and Kazakis would be the slots I'd be looking at to cut for Neophytes, should that be necessary. Some notable exclusions. I know everyone's been wanting to play Moorabi for years, but the reason Moorabi wasn't seeing play is because Moorabi itself is not good. 6 mana is just too much for that card. So forever in our hearts, never in our decks. Icebreaker is another card that hasn't been used in Shaman, not because it doesn't have enough synergies, but because it itself is not very good. Once you've frozen a minion, you've kind of dealt with it already, and so going out of your way to destroy it just isn't worth an extra card most of the time, at least not for 3 mana. If you do want to run it, I recommend running Cage Match Custodian because every Shaman deck wants an excuse to run Cage Match Custodian, and that gives some additional validity to it. I did make a list that has Moorabi and Icebreaker in it, and I will include that deck code in the description if you really want to play Moorabi. Snowblind Harpy, I had in my original list, but I cut it because your frost spells are so cheap and they're so good, you play them. You never have them in hand to actually get the armor off of Snowblind Harpy. Herald of Lakalar is a 4 mana 3/5 draw a frost spell. We have a 3 mana 2/3 draw a frost spell in here already, and 4 mana for a 3/5 that otherwise doesn't do much just doesn't seem like a good deal. It's mediocre tempo, and we already have enough access to our frost spells that I don't think it's worth including that card. Serenite, Chaingang, and Grumble type cards are not in the deck because we are not trying to go infinite. We're just trying to make big boards and have a lot of value. I tried building a Highlander Shaman deck with all this stuff, and it just kind of takes the fun out of it for me. I do like Reno decks, but you only get to run one Wind Chill, and you only get to run one Invocation of Frost and one Sleep Breaker. So like, you have to consider, is Sentimo even worth it at that point with so many fewer cards to synergize with it? And like, is Barren Glacier any good with that because you have so much fewer frost spells? I think there's probably a Reno Shaman that's pretty decent after this expansion, but the list would look very different. That about covers everything. Normally, I would use highlights from my Twitch stream for the gameplay section, but I was really excited to get this out today, so for the very first time, we're going to have YouTube exclusive Martian gameplay. Remember to subscribe and comment for more Martian videos. I hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching. All right, what did we get? Druid.
Cenarius, guide me to victory. Face the might of the Frost Wolves.
So I'm going to hope that this isn't Celestial Alignment. I did see a few aggro druids earlier today. And against them, this hand is actually pretty decent, so I'll go ahead and full keep. Alterac Thrall isn't my favorite portrait, but since the Wintervale one didn't come out today... ooh, it is aggro druid. Since the Wintervale one didn't come out today, I figured it's the closest to Freeze Shaman that we're gonna get. I think I want to save this for this, right? Getting Sentimo here was pretty good. This is actually kind of a sweet showcase of what the deck's capable of against aggro. It's always nice to see them draw patches. I mean, they're both drawing me a spell. This might draw me 2 cards or get me Ice Fishing, so I guess we'll go with this one. Uses our mana better anyway.
You gotta be scrappy with scraps.
Remember when that thing made a 6/6? Alright, it's Sentimo time. What are we hitting? I like that trade. I think we're going with Galakrond. Yeah. I wish I could not freeze this one, but I guess I'll freeze these 3 and trade here. Excellent. I'm just gonna punch into that anyway. Might as well make the trade even though it's frozen. Uh-oh. Sentimo lives. We could actually draw a ton of cards if we want. We probably do. Let's see. Invocation still in the deck, and Ice Fishing still in the deck. If I get Invocation, I get more Sentimo value. I don't know. I think we'll go for more Sentimo value that's guaranteed. Sentimo's so silly. Well, I almost want to make this trade just because we need to whittle that thing down. It's a shame that they get to get their cannon shots in. That is terrifying when it's buffed. Alright, Macaw would give us more freeze. I think that almost is what I want. Maybe what I really want is Galakrond Invokes. So ice fishing and invocation are both really good off of this. And if we do get Wind Fury, it's not the end of the world. If we burn an elemental. Alright, well, that's a shame. It's also a shame that we couldn't get this fully invoked by the time we had to play it, because I think we have to play it now. Nice, Flurgle. Well, I guess this is over.
I'm looking for a few good mercenaries. I can see. Throw versus
Warlock this time.
Your soul shall be mine.
Starting off with ice fishing in hand is pretty good. It's a good start.
We have turned our curse into our
Evenlock. This should be pretty breezy. They usually go tall instead of wide, and it's really easy to stop a tall threat with freeze.
Armor! Armor! Lightly used armor.
Sad. I'm not going to attack because that's just going to accelerate them towards Molten Giant. The 1 damage isn't going to make too much of a difference either way, but I've been playing around Molten Giants for too long to stop now, I guess.
Break it, you buy it.
There's a mule, just in time to not matter. Alright. I might even just Kazak is here.
I'm looking for a few good mercenaries.
Rush, I guess. Freeze Shaman, so we take freeze. I just think it's good also. But extra points for being thematic.
More bones to gnaw on.
Ow. There's an invocation.
You will obey.
I'm just gonna do this. Develops a big thing. Encourages them to invest in the board more. Here. Alright. So now this thing can go face. We'll freeze up the old mountain giant. Bark. We actually have lethal with Flurgle Toxfin as our last damage. Ooh, Shadow Flame. Don't see that every day.
Muzzle their magic.
Alright, I think... Let's see, the last one was... the Rush Freeze guy. So we would just freeze those. I think I'm gonna go for the Galakrond invokes though.
I'll write that down.
That means that now I just need to draw a Corrupt Elementalist.
Frostbite's sharper than fang.
Man. Armor vendor. I guess we'll start setting up a Barren Glacier. We've done We've already played one Windchill from deck. And we've played one Invocation of Frost. So we'll get 4 stags if we play both of these. Oh, we don't even have to keep track of it. Alright, so I missed one. It says it on the card, which is handy. Yeah. It's gonna make 5, potentially.
Don't distract me.
So do that. Freeze this one. Get rid of that. Freeze our friend here. Yep, we're at 5 now. Look at that. Look at the bears go. Sure. Guess the punish would be Entitled Customer and then Molten Giant.
We're gonna be rich.
Rewarded. Ooh. It's exact lethal right off the top. Okay.
Kneel to the Ice Queen.
Kneel to the Ice Queen. Another Druid.
Cenarius, guide me to victory. Face the might of the frost.
I'd really like to find a Pirate Warrior. That is a matchup I would like to showcase. If this does end up being Celestial Alignment, then having a Lothep is pretty good. It is Aggro Druid again, the more winnable of the matchups. Did Aggro Druid get anything that interesting? Why is it so popular today? Having both Brigands is a little scary. Both Brigands and Embiggen. Brigand Embiggen. Ugh. Maybe we could draw the other one of these. Or Note Taker. Ooh. There's Note Taker. If we're lucky, they won't have a health buff next turn. Don't do it. Don't you buff that health. Okay.
Muzzle their magic.
Alright. Things are looking up.
Nature waits for no one.
Perfect. Alright. Next turn, this is looking kind of over. Because we have multiple frost spells in this deck, it is not immediately telling that we have ice fishing just because we didn't draw 2 cards. Hey, Zentimo. It's pretty good. This is pretty over just from that. But if they do manage to have a little bit more board and get rid of the Flurgle Toxfin in a way that they like, this is going to go a long way. What is it? So we do that, and then this will give the Murloc Poisonous, so we can take care of the other one. Could also, like, freeze face. Nah. Get value with that while it's out.
Nature waits for no one.
Cool. What is that they wouldn't play it? Maybe a Savage Roar? Oh, okay. It's a thing.
You are too late. His return is nigh. I have enough mana.
That is one Zentimo away from being fully invoked. Harbor up. This thing. I don't know, this is pretty over. Draw some cards, because why not? Do I want a Note Taker or more Galakrond invokes back? I guess? The Galakrond is all ready to go. Shall I get rid of my rushy guys? I guess so. Alright. Start with this. Get rid of some of those. We'll play our Galakrond. Got him. You almost have to wonder why they didn't concede a while ago. There we go. Another Warlock.
Mine is the only way. Face the might of the Frost Wolves.
What type of Warlock do we have this time? Another early Ice Fishing draw.
We have turned our curse into
Evenlock
our
again.
strength.
You'll have to spend all your mana, but this is so good in this matchup, it doesn't seem worth just tossing it out for tempo. Ooh, guess I'll do this. I was gonna play that and be alright with it, but that uses more of my mana. Alright. Do this. Do that. And I guess I'm just gonna like ignore board forever and smork him down. That went pretty well last time. Alright.
Could you repeat that? I'll write that down.
Ah, poor Evenlock.
More bones to gnaw on.
More bones. Alright. Here, I'll do that. Draw first. Got another one.
Double the power, double the storm.
Don't distract me.
So silly. There's actually a pretty strong case, I think, to have traded the 2-1. Setting up a Defile might not be that hard. But, like, do I even care about this board that much? I don't think so. What's our bear at? Bear is at 4. Already most of a board. That, oh, same one. Huh. That wasn't too bad. Alright, since we have that Wind Fury in hand, I think I'm just gonna do this. Alright, this is a pretty juicy defile, but they have to also kill the 9/9.
Are you gonna clean that up?
Uh-oh. So, I mean, this isn't that terrifying, right? We just make the bear. Galakrond's ready to go whenever.
Only the cold are fit to rule.
Mule, but they actually got a mule this time. The last 3 decks have had a mule in it.
Your wish is my suggestion.
Alright, so they could take Chaos, I guess. We have initiative. Well, I was going to play Brucon. I guess it's better to have this out first anyway, just because we like this hero power better. The downside is once we get Kronks, that effect won't be active. Like, there's a lot of, like, redundancy of very good threats at the top end. The early answers are so good that you have a lot of room to play greedy things.
Are you gonna clean that up?
Goodbye, stuff. Alright, and they know we have the... Oh. I'm just gonna do this, that's more fun. But, like, I could have just done that. Bonk.
Armor! Lightly used armor!
Ice fishing again.
Break it, you buy it!
Ice fishing mirror.
Break it, you buy it!
Was toteming horrible in the mirror? I haven't played the mirror yet. Pretty scary.
Nature waits for no one but me. I'm looking for a few good mercenaries.
Divine Shield would have been great considering the Flurgle talks. Rush would have been also great considering. We won't go with Summon because of that. We'll go with DL3. Some immediate impact.
Foolish creature! Now you free!
The Snowblind.
Break it, you buy it!
The board is ours. Do we have to counter Flurgle as soon as they Flurgle us?
Foolish creature! Now you free!
Or is that the type of thing that it's just better to hold on to for a long time? A timely top deck. I think I'm just gonna trade in.
Double the power, double the...
I can't expect all my stuff to stick because of the Flurg talks, so. Also, there's no use keeping it stealth because I guess there's some use. It's only Zentimo that can freeze under stealth.
Frost bites sharper than fang!
Imagine having constant hand space issues in Shaman. It's crazy. Timely top deck once again. Would love to draw Brucon. Having the hero power every turn would be very good right now.
Only the code
Hey, it's a bear.
to rule.
It's a bear.
I got no
Here comes the Zentimo. And there's our Galakrond. I believe Corrupt Elementalist was our last thing. Endeavoring to keep Zentimo alive.
I got no
There's Zentimo. Oh, goodbye, Zentimo. Gone but not forgotten. So all that stuff's coming off cooldown next turn.
The oceans stir and the heavens cry.
Frost bites sharper than fang.
Alright, cool. Alright, that makes sense. Alright, Marshy gets the first... Or gets the last Flurgle, which is good. How many of these have I done? 2? That's not enough, so I guess we'll just make a big ol' this thing.
You are too late. This return is nigh.
I'm looking for a few good mercenaries.
Armor! Armor! Lightly use armor.
Aww. Not my big old boy. Alright, so I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna do this.
Armor! Armor!
Then I guess sometimes my face gets frozen.
The tempest.
Do that. And then it's lethal with Wind Fury. Hey, don't wind chill. Wind chill's cheating. Only I'm allowed to wind chill.
Oh, it's about to get windy out here. Nature waits for no
Hey, the bear survives. That's pretty good.
Double the power, double the storm.
It is sad to have lost this, though. Alright. That's pretty good. So... That's a big macaw. Look at it go. Very scary board we've got right now.
The oceans stir and the heavens cry.
Guess they could get rid of the Kronks with just what they have on board. If they have a freeze for my they have a freeze for my guy there, it's sad. Actually, since Bolner is still on the battlefield, even if they have just a Battlecry minion, it's pretty spooky. Means they get another 8/8. What does it mean? Oh. Yeah. Alright. Well, 10. So we have 17. 10 on top of that is 27. So we're actually 2 off. Oh, no, we're not. We have this. Ta-da! Yay!